Hey, Gravity Karma here with a short video for LPU, essentially on how to approach a new lock. So this is not a new lock for me, it's an old favourite, it's really fun to pick, and I've chosen it for this for a couple of reasons. Okay, one is I've got a key and I need to show you that, and the other, it's got an interesting wide keyway. So first thing to do, because probably if you're a beginner and intermediate, you've got your lock from from Goodwill, or you might have got a challenge lock or those kind of things. Always check that it works, because you don't know the history of the locks, and if it's a challenge lock, if it's something like this with a really exotic, exciting key, look at that, you don't know what's in there, and it might have got jostled around in the post or any of those things, or in the case of this it might be a little bit resistant, but this one all works. Look, actually it's incredibly smooth. The manufacturer of this challenge lock did an absolutely superb job. So now that we know it works, we need to select a tension tool or a turning tool, and you don't want to use something like this which is slopping around all over the place, because you will increase the wear on the front of your lock, which will damage it, and you'll have a lot less control. So what you could do, you could use a slightly thicker one. That's still not ideal. I've actually got a homemade one here, and this fits super snugly. In fact, that end there is absolutely perfect fit. I've got much more control. That's really important, particularly when you get onto gin bottles and those kind of things. You could also double up. So if I double these two up, look, they're a really perfect little snug fit, and that's going to damage my lock less and give me a lot more control. So with your turning tools selected, it's now time to grab a pick, and if you've been picking a while, you'll probably have an old favourite. It might be something like this poor old thing that you picked an awful lot of locks with, or it might be that you've got something like this from a kit. Okay, these are great. A really cheap kit is excellent. A nice thing to do in order to have some picks that you can modify and you can play around with. So let's have a look. What we're going to do now is we're going to kind of pick the key. So I've got the key here, and I'm going to look and see, can I actually set all of these pins with this pick? I can do, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to be able to set all of these without any problems. Okay, at least I hope I will. I will if I pick off the back there. It may be that the warding doesn't let me, and I need to think, oh, am I going to be able to pick off of that bit there? So maybe I'll be restricted to thinking, well, I'm going to have to pick off that ledge. Can I sneak this through? I can just about, maybe. So I'm probably alright with this one. I'm definitely okay with this one, look, because I can sneak that through there, and I'll be able to set those just fine. Okay, or I could pick off the top of the lock, look, and I'd have a bit more space. If we have a look at something like this, this is a key from one of my SS600s. This is a gin bottle S600, not that it terribly matters. I'm not going to be able to set this pin or this one without oversetting one of the others. So if I try and set that pin there, I'm going to have trouble. I'm going to interfere with the other pins in this lock, look. So this isn't going to be any good. Something like this might, but now we're so deep, can I even get that in? I'll probably just about sneak that in there, look, and then I could set that pin. Could I get it past that one? Probably not. So for that back pin, I might be on a shallower hook like that. Yeah, I'll be able to thread that through. Yeah, so that should work, and then I might be able to just about nudge it into place. Just about. This is why a lock with good bitting like this, going to add an enormous amount of challenge to a lock. Okay, so we've picked the key, and we have got some good tensioners sorted, and we've worked out what we're going to do in terms of pick. And so the only thing left really is to pick it and maybe gut it. So here we go, let's have a quick go. I'm going to see if we can set some things. Yeah, okay, that's alright. Okay, so I am just about, this is the other consideration with the pick, this one here is a little bit too thick. I can't quite reach one of the pins that I need to. I can't quite get it past the pin, look, and I can't quite get it past, well, just about can get it past by sort of putting it on the diagonal. So if the keyway was a little bit more restricted, I might use my thinner pick like that, which I can actually sneak over the top of that pin, look. And so even picking off the warding, I can get this all the way through, and I can set all the pins that I need to set, just picking off the warding. Okay, so say you're having a go, you're picking away, and you've got into a full set, and you can't find anything else that is binding, or you're still having trouble, or you just think, oh, I can't quite figure this lock out, I can't quite get that open, then don't be afraid also to take the thing apart. You just need a cylinder like this. Is a 3D printed one, but something like a Sharpie would probably work. Particularly for a kind of a lock like this, I might be able to get away with a Sharpie maybe. You don't want to be doing that for too long, so it is worth getting some followers, these are called, so that you can gut locks sensibly and without damaging them. And what you really want to do as well, particularly with challenge locks, is you want to use a shim. Okay, and so a shim is something like this. This is a really old set of feeler gauges. This is really nice. So what you do with this helps to stop everything from going wrong, particularly if you've got very tricky pins. That sits there like that and slides in as you withdraw stuff, or if you can do, insert the shim in underneath the core first. Okay, so this thing here will sit around this plug, and that holds all the pins in place whilst you're sliding the core out. Stuff like this is really important, particularly if you've got interesting, weird and wonderful core shapes with trap pins and all sorts of other things. So that's it, and as I say, this approach is something that we all do at different rates, and it doesn't matter the level of the lock. Any picker will be thinking about these sorts of things, and then when you pick some of the really challenging things, so this here I think is really challenging. This here is a Fichet 484, and this has got interesting levers and things, and you can see that I can do exactly the same thing. I can think, can I get in there, can I lift that pin up with this? Yeah, I can, and I'm going to need to be careful not to overset this one. And so you can do exactly the same thing, and you can map out in your brain a little bit where the high and low lifts are, what kind of key you're going to need, and all that sort of stuff. So that's the end of our video. If you're not already a subscriber to LPU, please do subscribe, because it's a great channel. We're working hard to get you some interesting things. If there's stuff that you want to see in particular, let us know. Pop along on the Discord and make a request, and we'll probably be able to to help you out and to make a video on something. It'll give us great pleasure. It's always nice to know that you're doing something by request rather than just coming up with some suggestions. Okay, so thank you very much. Enjoy.